Going to be a video about this new welder that I bought. The problem with it is that it's 230 volts, but it's a three-phase welder. And my knowledge in electrical tells me that three-phase 240 or 230 means that each voltage line is 80 volts. So 80 times 3 is 240 volts. So I can't just put 240 volts two-phase here, because if I put it on two-phase, instead of having 80 volts in each phase, we're going to have 120 or 115 volts in each phase. That's about 35 more volts in each line, and that's probably not good. It's quite a bit more voltage than it's supposed to get. So anyways, I haven't figured out what to do yet. Here's the schematics for the welding wire feed unit, and this is sort of what I'm going to play with now. So I put some tape on it because it was just paper's just glued and it's coming off. And the feed unit should just be 115 volts AC, 50 hertz. It doesn't say the phase, but it should be just normal phase, just one phase, or just regular socket, So my plan is to just get this different connector here, get it off, and just put in a normal connector, normal plug, so that I can just plug this into a regular outlet. And this is the beauty of these things. The wire feed units on various welders is either garbage or the gun is bad. So my plan is to use this on that other Lincoln welder way over there. That red one there. The gun is the problem. The gun is damaged on that one. So I'm trying to put part of two welders together to make one, sort of thing. My initial problem was this here, that there's 3 wires coming into the plug. Then over here there's 4 wires coming out of it. So I'm not 100% sure what these are for. My understanding of old systems is not all that good, and it will still take quite a long time for me to figure this out. I could certainly figure it out, but I'm still trying to. I'm in a bit of a hurry here, so I looked at it. The other red wire comes from this other female plug. So this would normally be off. You just connect this on something else. And I was comparing it to another welder, this TIG welder here, and it has one big plug similar to that. So it has one 3-pin plug, which is unfortunately not the same, but this other plug is the same. It's and that plug is for, that's the big plug, that's just the power, and it's for a remote. So this plug here is for a contactor. Looks like it's called heart lock, or I don't know if that's the name. It's for a contactor. So in that machine it should be the same. In my case, we don't have a contactor, so I'm not exactly sure what the contactor does. Never really used one. So here's pretty much the same thing. One is for the remote, the other one is for the contactor. So I'm pretty certain, based on this information, that I can just ignore the red wire, and the other wires are just pretty standard. As you can see, white for neutral, black for line and green for ground. So the ground wire is the odd one out. It's the big one. And the other two, one of them is the line, one of them is the neutral. So we should be able to just ignore the contactor wire, which is this red one. And I'm guessing the contactor is some sort of switch initiating the arc. That's what I suspect it is. But I don't know. But we should be able to just eliminate the red one. Just forget about it, just ignore it. And just put a normal three plug wire in here. And then connect it to the normal socket. And then the giant ground terminal is from here. I just removed the whole mechanism because it was dirty. Well, it still is dirty and full of junk on it. And I want to clean it out before running the machine. And then once we put the trigger on, we can test it. So that's my troubleshooting for the day on this thing here. I'm just using some basic logic in comparison to other machines in order to solve a problem rather than trying to decipher the electrical system here, although it wouldn't be too difficult. As you can see, the components are all pretty big, and you can relatively easily follow the wiring, and the schematics is here anyways. So this is for the trigger, which is in the front over here. It says trigger. That there is the power input, which I still have to find here. Here it is. Red, green, and white. So yeah, the red gets another connection from there, and the white gets another connection from there. So this they done it just as it's supposed to be. See, I always like to try to understand the schematics of these machines or anything before just plugging it in, because you never know what people have done before. You never know. I don't like making assumptions, so just because that's how the machine came doesn't mean it's correct. Somebody might have fiddled with it, and but it seems that isn't the case. It seems that everything is according to here. There we have 115 volts. This is single phase because we have 115 volts across the white and across the black. So there's no other phase, and there we go. We should just be able to connect that directly. So at least the wiring is correct. The wiring should be correct up here. Make sure that is the case. There's a green going to the ground. The guy that sold me the machine did say that it was working. So certainly if it wasn't working, then there would be something burnt or wires missing, and this looks pretty clean and pretty original. I obviously use the blowgun to clean this up. That's another thing that I really like doing before I turn any electrical machines on, is just getting the blowgun and blowing all the dust out. And similarly for here, just clean that up a bit. Doesn't have to be too crazy, just make sure everything is clean. Okay, so the next step will be to install a regular switch on there, and start working on it.